Yo, this is a trade recap for January 27th. I made like 7,800 dollars. I low key, whatever. That's close enough. It was like rounded $7,800. I don't know the exact decimal. But I had people requesting that I make a long term, like kind of like a longer form, video for a trade recap. So here's that. Unfortunately, guys, I haven't been able to. If you're coming from my Instagram or TikTok, unfortunately, I haven't been able to really have good live recordings of my trades, to be able to post like in those like cool edits or whatever, with like my face cam and the profit going up and down. But I promise you, I promise you, I promise you, over the summer, I will have those consistently. Every single trade, losing or winning, that will be getting posted. It's just really hard for me to do that while in school. So, with that being said, quick little trade recap. We can start on the higher time frame. We did have a 4 hour fair value gap that was getting filled when market opened. So, oh yeah, this. Oh, it had already been filled. That's right. So, market opened and we kind of, actually no, it was filling. I'm pretty sure, but this 4 hour gap, and then obviously within a 4 hour gap, there's 1 hour gaps. But um, so yeah, yeah, at 9 a.m. it was getting filled. And then same with on ES. The service is pretty bad. Same with on ES. Yeah, this looks like it even hit hourly equilibrium, but doesn't really matter. So then for draws and liquidity, really I only saw, this chart looks really messy on the hourly time frame, but really I only saw longs today. It was pretty obvious that longs was the way to go today, because right. Well, first of all, for session profiles, I mean, London Asia session, we had kind of a move, a distribution, and then we saw our manipulation. We accumulated to these lows, swept these lows, and then distributed higher. So kind of a Asia, move, London consolidation, and then New York, continuation. For draws and liquidity, we just had like these high time frame highs, and then ES had a lot of low resistance liquidity as well. And then, and you can see that better on the 5 minute. And then kind of all of these stacked highs from way across, were pretty good draws on liquidity as well. Um, but this is, so for ES we had this low resistance liquidity, um, that had been built pretty easily, that we could have wanted to see. London lows had already been swept, and we actually had a really big high time from SMT coming into the market, coming into market open off of London lows. But when market opened, Nasdaq actually came down and swept all these lows, filled this hourly fair value gap and this second hourly fair value gap. Um, and yeah, so we, right when market opened, I can get rid of this equilibrium, but we, here, let me move some of these lows over too. When market opened, we came down, swept these London lows, which were actually like near equal, if not equivalent lows, and then created this 5 minute SMT, or sorry, not SMT, 5 minute fair value gap. I wanted to see this fair value gap get disrespected, and it did. It got inversed, and we actually entered off of that inverse, which was a really good entry. So we came down, filled this hourly fair value gap, immediately saw buy pressure back up. We filled the 5 minute. Um, and then at this 5 minute, at this peak, since I wanted to take the trade on Nasdaq, and as you can see, I did, because we had these equivalent 5 minute highs. Are these 15 minute highs too? Yeah, equivalent 5 minute and 15 minute highs. I wanted to. That's a huge draw on liquidity in my opinion. Not to mention the London highs and then the stacked hourly high on top, and then obviously ES had all these stacked highs, and then on top of that, all this low resistance liquidity. Um, but I wanted to take the trade on Nasdaq because of those equivalent highs, that were just closer up. So, anyways, wanted to see this get inversed. We came up and we made this 5 minute high, and they got a pretty deep retrace. And even though we were in bullish market structure, I wanted to see what happens with the 5 minute equilibrium. And as you can see, textbook, came up, created this high, filled this 5-minute bearish fair value gap, came down, filled equilibrium, and then bullish pressure out of it. I would consider this a break of structure. I'm not even sure if it ended up breaking structure on the 79% extension fib, but let's see. Oh, wrong way. My bad. I haven't used that in a minute. Oh, and it would be right here. So it actually didn't break structure. But I did enter off that candle. This next candle was pretty big. But you could have waited for the full minute break structure and 5-minute inverse and entered there. Would have been basically the same risk to reward. But yeah, I mean, textbook, right? We create a bearish fair value gap. We swept low resistance liquidity, filled an imbalance, and then immediately came back up, retested the bearish fair value gap, used that momentum to fill equilibrium and a 1-minute fair value gap right here, and then we saw buying pressure out of it. Maybe didn't break 1-minute structure, but you could have waited to break 1-minute structure right here. Entered there. That candle also inversed this 5-minute bearish fair value gap, and then ride it up to these highs. I went break even at these equal highs, and we shot right up. So pretty textbook in my opinion. The only thing that I think I would have done differently is, was I taking this trade off of equilibrium or was I taking this trade off the fair value gap? I mean, I put these stops kind of close. I think that the stops should have been technically underneath this 1-minute fair value gap, if that's what my confluence was going to enter off of. And then if I was saying that I was entering off the equilibrium, obviously underneath equilibrium. Overall, it played it out in my favor, but that is something to be mindful of, is that I technically should have had my stops a lot lower. And then on top of that, should I have taken this trade on ES? Maybe, because as you can see, ES actually had the better move. I had to exit this trade early. It was more like here, because ES took out this high, the equivalent high, faster than NASDAQ. Here we go. So these highs got swept at 953, and NASDAQ was only halfway up to those highs at that time. Yeah, 953 is right here. So that was really my trade. So kind of short, but yeah, I was okay with that though. We had taken out the equal highs. That's a spot where a reversal could potentially happen. Maybe the trade was better on ES though. I don't know if we hit equilibrium on ES. I'm looking at it right now and I can tell we didn't. See, so we actually missed equilibrium. Would have probably, so I guess the correct trade was on NASDAQ. But all this low resistance liquidity kind of would have been valid to take this trade on ES as well. I just would have wanted to see equilibrium. So that does it for today's trade. Pretty simple, pretty textbook. Again, swept the low resistance liquidity, filled an imbalance, super obvious draws to the upside. We ended up going all the way up to these highs. NASDAQ, I don't think we had any highs past the ones we marked out. Oh, yeah. All the way up here. So pretty unlikely. But I do think that high time frame, bro, I wanted to see us make some moves, some legs down. But we are still in a high time frame bearish SMT, as you can see, from NASDAQ being the leading selling index, and ES is above these highs. I wanted to see legs down. So these equivalent highs We're in a bearish SMT. But I don't know. Seems like we might just rip. But that's just more low resistance liquidity to come and snag in the future. So I'm personally not buying much actually at all in this market right now. We're getting pretty high. If this continues up to like the 77,200 range, dude, we're due for a retrace. I mean, holy fuck, dude. Yeah. So we'll have to see. I want some legs down pretty soon, but that's fine with me. I'll keep on stacking up a cash pile to try and get. I'll pull up crypto real quick since I'm recording. Dude, crypto looks so good. Crypto looks so good, bro. This is kind of the last low resistance draw. In my opinion, man, crypto looks great, in my opinion. I wonder if we hit RSI. Sorry, I'm going to end this recording soon, but let me just see if we hit RSI on Bitcoin, and then I'll end this. I'll end this recording. How do I even do that? Here we go. Put that on the chart. I want to look at the monthly. After we look at this, guys, I'll end this. Okay, yeah, so we're literally edging the 50 range. Bro, as soon as we're under this 50 range, it's a bull run, man. It's a bull run. So this just looks so good to me. If we come down into the 75, 70K range, I'll be filling more orders. So, yeah. That about does it, though. Really good, easy day today. I'll start trying to do a little bit more of these for the people who are more advanced in their trading and are just trying to learn, see the real strategy. So, yep. Peace.